Welcome to a weekend edition of your Daily Dose of Lamb Dog. Today's episode, as promised, is for and about my YouTube friend on here, Pop's Cabinet Shop. Somebody that I have quite a bit of respect for. He's a good guy, real straight shooter, and in my opinion, one of those people that I was talking about on yesterday's dose that would be not necessarily used to the treatment that you get on the internet that you're not used to getting in real life. It goes even beyond celebrities, but I digress. And without further ado, I'm going to go through this video on a point-by-point basis, from a troll's perspective, and I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I've never tried to do one of these troll response videos. Again, this is not meant as me trolling. I'm certainly retired, but I can offer you a little bit of insight, and if you put this video together with yesterday's dose, again, maybe it'll help you out. And without further ado, here we go. Oh. Damn. Oh, that's not going to work.
Okay, so a wonderful YouTuber named Honest Abe has left a comment on my business secrets video. It says, who would take business advice from a person that can't spell secrets? It's adorable when the uneducated try to teach.
Okay, first things first. The internet is an absolute, I don't know how to put it. The internet is just an absolute myriad of misspelling and bad grammar. And it's not just, from people who don't have grammar type aptitude. It's just when you're typing, even in my case, I type thousands upon thousands upon thousands of words in a day in my business. And if you look at the percentages of typos, and that's just what that is, it boils down to it's eventually going to happen. Now you take a guy like Pop's Cabinet Shop, and he certainly didn't mean to misspell this, and I believe that that's not how he thinks that secrets is spelled. Okay, and I think ironically, and this is the other part of it, my understanding of your video, Pop, is that when you say my business secret, the biggest secret is that there's actually no secret to success. It's just hard work and watching your progress. But Honest Abe certainly fixated on this, and we'll see what happened here.
Yep, I spelled it wrong. I don't spell that well. Actually, I remember back...
Now here's the irony. When I watched that video when it first came out, I subbed to Pop's Cabinet Shop, as you can see, and I didn't notice that you misspelled it. I could fib to myself and be like, well, intelligent people only read the first few letters of a word and then move on because they don't have time for that type of shiz. But let me just tell you right then and there, before we go any further, whomever it was that put on that persona of Honest Abe, which is kind of I thought it was kind of a clever, it seemed to be kind of a clever persona, because they took the little outline and they put a little top hat on it. I thought it was kind of funny. Because it looks like Abraham Lincoln, and normally it's like the generic one. I just find it very funny myself. Anyway, to say that you don't spell good, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting that that you reacted in such a way to Honest Abe, and I can tell you that that is exactly what that troll wanted. Okay, it doesn't matter. He or she doesn't care that you misspelled secrets. He or she doesn't care what passion and business is. He or she could care less if you were showing how to build a rocking chair versus whatever. This person was just flat out trying to get a reaction. And from a troll standpoint, to get a 7 minute 47-second video out of one sentence is just an absolute troll win. Getting blocked is an absolute troll win. Any reaction you can get out of a person is a win. It just comes down to reaction. You got to look at the internet through a different set of eyes, and we see it as an expansion of our interpersonal relationships. For a troll, what we're looking at on this screen, it's just little bright colors on the screen that just switch around. It's meaningless. It's meaningless to them.
When I had a punctuation error, and my friend over in Paris, slow-bow motion. I don't know how you really pronounce that. Or cute.
It's interesting that you said slow-bow motion. I always thought it was slobbo motion. I'm like, well, you don't seem like a slob, but slow-bow makes a lot more sense. See? I never would have thought of slow-bow motion, and that's kind of fun. I'm going to think of it as slow-bow motion from here on, just so you know. Anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, I think Pop talks about her for a little bit more here. Slow-bow, she's an expatriate of some fame who now lives over in France. Has some really cool videos that I've shared with some friends, and actually quite a successful person, and came off of Wall Street of all places. So, but anyway, I digress. Let's let Pop continue here.
Cat Faith, or Cat Faith, I don't know. She's a really nice lady. She's very, very knowledgeable. She,
Slow-bow motion's other persona, Cute Cat Faith. It's interesting that Pop mentioned Cut Cat Faith, because I guess if what about like Cuddy Cat Faith, like Cuddy Sark, like Cuddy Cat Faith. Okay, you got a little wood in the back there, huh? Looks like somebody's bringing the lumber today. All right, sorry.
Straighten me out on some, I think, apostrophe S when I shouldn't have used it or something like that. And you know what? Very respectful way, and I really appreciated it, because I'm never done learning.
Now, real quick, I am married to a grammar Nazi, and she just takes absolute pride in catching me in things like that. Now, she doesn't generally read the things that I read, but this is going to sound terrible. I originally went to school and went on to the University of South Florida for a couple of years, where I probably had, for all intents and purposes, a beautiful vocabulary. Now, Pop, I'm not going to compare myself to you, but we both went on to become working people, and working people have a working language. And you change the way that you use words. We don't write as many words as we speak, and but it does bother some people, But I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But let's move on.
Now, a bunch of guys out there that have known me through YouTube for quite a while know actually that I barely graduated high school. I got a D plus and somehow still graduated. I think the teacher liked me. Hey, what's not to like, right? I'm a likable dude. But anyway, you know, I normally will just deal with the trolls directly. But I went to find that comment, and just letting you guys enjoy this beautiful day with me here. I went to find that comment, and I couldn't find it on my video. And if you want to throw stuff my way, I'm good with that. You know, I'm old school, dude. If you got something you want to say, just say it, and I'll respond. I don't care, you know. But I went to respond to that comment, and it wasn't there.
Okay, the troll is not looking for response or for human interaction or to get to know you a little bit better. This is really similar to like sociopathic behavior. They don't necessarily want to know names. And again, it's just squiggly lines on the thing. That he pulled a little bit of a ghost move. It's tricky. It's trickier now in this day and age of the way Google Plus is integrated and everything, but it can happen. And simply put, if he put the comment on your video, let it sit for a certain amount of time, it would have come up on your notifications, which Honest Abe wouldn't have had access to erase. However, he could still erase it off of either the video feed or the feed on Google Plus, where people are allowed to have multiple personas and accounts. But again, as a sociopath, he wasn't really looking to get to know you a little bit better. So but that's my opinion. I mean, I'm no psychologist.
And I clicked on the channel name to see what kind of channel it was, and there was no. It came up with a little Google robot that's falling apart.
Now check this out. Back in the day, when YouTube first started out, what we used to like to do, it would be like a hook and draw move, where you would put some little snarky comment, just like Honest Abe did, and the hopes that you would click on my name to try to find me, okay? So you click on my name to try to find me, and then my channel page pops up. Well, it used to be we could put whatever picture we wanted to in the background. So we could actually use our main channel page, or a main channel page, because a person's going to have multiple accounts. I myself always kept the number of my accounts divisible by 13, and at one time I had like 26 different channels. But when you clicked on a person, all of a sudden, it'd show, like if it was for you, it would be just some sort of a distortion of something to you, so it would actually affect you when you saw the image that was my background screen. And we could do shit like have our text transparent so it was all you could see, or just really annoying stuff. But again, and two, I mentioned having 26 channels. Whenever it seems like the whole world is coming down on you, if 2 trolls or 3 trolls, each of them are willing to dedicate 10 to 15 to 20 channels towards giving you a hard time, it's not 60 people. Okay, just to let anybody who has ears hear, it's not 60 people. It's one person or a couple of friends working together.
That said that 404 error or whatever. And, if there's one person out there that, will leave a comment like that, there's a whole bunch more that probably maybe the same kind of way out there, but just maybe haven't said anything. And people out there that exist like that, it's just sad. It's sad for them. I don't understand that.
Again, as mentioned, it's like borderline sociopathic behavior. The 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 pursuit doesn't have to do with being friendly. You know, the only people that actually exist as people in a troll's world are other trolls. That's what the tricky part about it is with trolling people that you know. It's a really strange feeling. You know, it's almost like putting on a ski mask and and mugging somebody that you're friends with. It's just a really weird feeling, and they don't know who you are, and it's the same too because it's so well, it used to be, and it still is to a certain extent. It's so easy to become anonymous. So all of a sudden, like even though you and I have known each other for a couple of years, if I decided to comment on your video with a different channel, you wouldn't know who it was. It could be me though, you know, it could be anyone. God bless the internet, right? Anyway.
Let's see what I want to say here. The part of the comment that said, try to teach, you know, that is obviously someone who is of the paradigm or the thought process that you have to be like formally educated in order to teach someone. And that's absolutely false. That's one of the things that is wrong with the education system and the way that children learn these days, is that they are being taught that you have to be of the system and learn in order to be educated, and that's absolutely false.
Okay. I hear what you're saying there, Pop, and you are correct. There are people that have outstanding aptitude in certain things that are fully able to teach, are fully willing to educate. Uh, that is a lesson that I learned my first summer back from USF. Now I was always college bound, and being just a full time student for what is that, 14 years straight, you feel like you kind of got a beat on life, you know. And that's where this Honest Abe guy, I mean, he's most likely in college, if not high school, just a kid. And I can tell you, I learned that lesson my first summer back. Now I never had a problem with working. Um, it was something my parents never had to tell me to get a job ever. There were other problems that I had, but getting a job was not one of them. So I came home from my freshman year and toot sweet got a job delivering furniture out of doing local furniture delivery in a box van, and I got a chance to actually work with people, and I realized that intelligence has nothing to do with vocabulary. I met some extremely smart people. I worked for a gentleman, and I use that word officially, who was he was smart as well. Now he was educated also, but he mentored me in business, and that was actually the start of my business education, my true business education. And it was interesting. I recall a conversation he had with me one time, and he remarked on my vocabulary, and he said, I used to have a great vocabulary too, but you'll find over the years that it'll fade, and you end up, you get tired of using words that people don't know, and sometimes people are offended by words that you don't know, and so I learned quite a bit, and obviously that has stuck with me. Now, in the case of how the education system works right now, my daughter, she's of school age, as I know. I believe you have some kids that are of school age as well, or just coming out of it. Um, I wouldn't say, we're kind of getting off track here away from the trolling, but I wouldn't necessarily say that they're taught that to have the impression of if you don't have a certain level of education, then you can't teach. Um, I'm just throwing this out there as a possibility because I work with databases and spreadsheets and stuff like for a living now, unfortunately. Um, they are growing up in a world where data has to be input accurately, garbage in, garbage out. A computer is not as sophisticated as the human mind. I can see you showed secrets, you spelled it secretes, and I understood what you meant. A computer cannot because it's just all ones and zeros. It's a very frail hologram. Um, uh, Pablo Picasso, I think it was, said computers are useless. They only give answers, and they can only answer the questions that we ask correctly. And you're observing in that the kids are growing up in a time where that's a little bit more critical. But I mean, does it matter? I don't know. You know, and I would hate. I like you would hate to have children grow up. My kids especially, or my nephews. I don't want them growing up with a mindset of writing off a person just because of something as frail and ignorant as a person's spelling or judging them accordingly. But again, that wasn't Honest Abe's point. Honest Abe's point was simply to get a reaction.
I definitely am of the school of hard knocks, hard work, and not ever giving up. Finish what you start. Failure is welcomed, and you learn.
Interesting what you say there about finishing what you start, because there was Honest Abe just disappearing. So he starts this interaction with you, and then doesn't follow through on it. I mean, that's nerve wracking, right? That would bother me. And again, that's a troll win because you take a person who obviously finishes what they start, and you go to fight him back, and he's nothing. Ghost, he's gone.
From it. I'll probably never spell the word secrets wrong ever again.
Now, let me rewind that just a little bit.
Spell the word secrets wrong ever again. Is welcomed, and you learn from it. I'll probably never spell the word secrets wrong ever again.
In a world of metadata and bad guys, like really genuine bad guys, and when I say bad guys, I mean people who intend to take away our freedom. Red Tony, pointed out that there are trolls at the gate fighting back at this. That this snot-nosed kid made some snarky BS comment about your spelling. I've had the same thing happen, and what you say right there, like I'll probably never spell secrets wrong again. I mean, it's amazing. The little, I'm not gonna say that he taught you a lesson, but your personality, you mentioned before about high school and stuff. I guarantee you could have been a good student in school, um, because you're an intelligent person, and it just has to do with what you dedicate your time to, how much it can, how much involvement um, you have in education, how much parental involvement you have in education, what your friends are into, which I'm sure I would I'm not trying to get personal, but I would probably guarantee you that your kids are good at school. And I bet you did not tolerate them not being good at school. Just a thought, buddy. Just saying.
You know, And I just wish people could see that aspect. You know, that Business Secrets video was designed for people out there because I'm very, very, very passionate about people finding what God intended for them to do and then doing it with passion. And when you combine those two things, it's an unstoppable force and it equals success. It's that simple. So
Okay, in your original video, if you needed one person on the planet to understand it and get it and be motivated by it, consider it done. I very much enjoyed the the success video, and my you're in a different place than I am, uh, as far as career wise, and from what I can tell, and what I've seen, I mean, you're at the level, you're established, you're doing exactly uh, where or what you're doing exactly what you set out to do, and you're actually on the other end of accomplishment. Um, your video really motivated me because anything that an entrepreneur, and I don't use that word lightly, anytime that there's an entrepreneur that's on the other side of what they set out to accomplish is willing to say something, know that you got at least one person listening. Because I am, you may have noticed from my stuff, I have a very, I have a very dynamic approach to business. I'm not going to say that I too am coming from the school of hard knocks, but I rose to management from the shop floor. I didn't come out of college and have it handed to me because I was the only person who knew how to run Excel and knew how to type. Um, I picked and crawled and scratched and stomped and took my place when there was an opening. Let them know that I had that desire. Maybe prove to them that I had the aptitude to continue. Um, but just know that I appreciated what you put up, and I'd hate to see you disappointed about that. And I don't want you to think that just because Honest Abe went out there to zing you, that there was really any true substance to it, or that there's 10 people that think that you're full of shit because you didn't spell secrets right. Hell, I spell your wrong all the time. Your. Y-O-U-R. When I'm texting on the phone, I always forget. You can ask Tex. For some reason, I get in a hurry and I don't type your. So instead of, hey, do you want to go and grab your whatever? It's like, go and grab you whatever. Does that make sense? I do it all the time.
put that video out there, as well as many other videos that I've done, trying to, give people some basic guidelines to inspire people, to show people, my beliefs and where it's gotten me, which ain't too terribly bad.
You got hogs in your area, man? That is, wow. That is like prime hog country, especially around the edge of that ridge line. I'm just saying, I hate to get distracted. But only problem with shooting a hog on the other side of that ridge line, you'd have to drag its sorry ass all the way back. But again, having followed your channel for some time, a person who puts up videos with no guile whatsoever. I mean, at the time you put up that video, our circle was kind of talking about the subject. But I just want you to know that I get it, and that your work is appreciated. And as surely as if Honest Abe is one person, and there might be 30 more who don't like the way you spelled secrets right there. Well, if that's the case, then if there's one person like me, then there's 30 more that appreciated what you put up, and gained insight into your ethics, and it also reinforces my ethics to see other people having a shared moral compass. Because I know you know it, being in construction, there's all kinds of people in business. And you have those weeks where you think, man, is there not one honest person that's doing this for the right reasons? So when I hear something like what you put up there, it reinforces what I believe, and it also serves that if there's a difference, then I know how to make that adjustment, or I can weigh what you say against where I'm at.
Also did another video called The Tough Times Are What Really Teach You. And I've learned more in the past, 7 or 8 years than I learned in the first, 18 years of running my business, because they were tough. They were tough times. And I know a bunch of guys in my line of work that threw in the towel and went to work for other people, and or just abandoned it and went and did other things. That ain't my style. That's not how we roll, okay? And anyway, I guess what I'd like to say is I wish I could respond directly, but this is a general response, basically, to anyone who feels that way, that you can't be educated. I learned what I learned, how to do what I do. Everyone that I learned the skills to build that shop, mostly from dudes that just had talent. And I said in a video a long time ago that you can't teach talent. You can teach, and people out there that want to learn will learn. But the talent part of it, that's separate, okay? And I love watching talented people do what they're supposed to do. Now, our Honest Abe friend is probably not talented at much. Probably has a pretty sad existence. Or maybe it's somebody that I already know with a channel name that did some trolling. That would be sad too, because if you have the time to do something like that, I can almost guarantee your life is crap, because you're not using your time wisely. All right, guys, I gotta go. Y'all take care.
In summation, it's going to autoplay your ad here.
Hands up.
What the?
Yeah, it's hard. I guess good habits do start early.
Dagnabbit.
Baby fitness.
It's annoying as hell.
Body training? Well, we'll get to that eventually.
Anyway. All right. Wow, listen to that fan rock. In summation, I mean, this whole thing is a video game to this troll guy. I mean, nothing more. But I hope that this video finds everybody well, and that you enjoyed this special weekend daily dose. And it went a little long, but hey, here's for something a little bit different. And I appreciate you guys sticking around. Pops, I look forward to hearing whatever you have to say, either in video form or in the comments section, or if anybody else has anything to add. Any of my old troll friends watching this want to tell me how much of an a-hole I am for talking out of my butt so much on this, but that's fine. Either way, y'all take care, and thanks for taking today's daily dose.